Okay, we're live on YouTube. I think we can start then. Welcome everyone. I just want to introduce Knowledge Chikundi first. He's one of the founders and directors of the Zimbabwe Science Fair, which is an educational platform. And he's also the founder of the African Science Buskers Festival, which is the Africa's only competition for primary and high school students and teachers. And one of the things that I really appreciate about Knowledge is that he spends most of his time promoting science and education with students and teachers, especially for primary and high school students in lots of countries, such as Zimbabwe and Zambia and lots of other countries in Africa. So I think it's a very great job. And also, I'm really happy to have him here once again, because he supported us at the beginning. This is our second edition and he was there in the first one as well. So Knowledge, I'm very happy to have you here today. The floor is yours. Please share your knowledge with us.
Thank you so much, Clara. I'm so excited to be speaking again here. And I'm proud of you guys for starting up this event, and it's always inspiring to see young people starting up platforms to support and empower other young people. So well done, everyone. So I just want to share about the work we are doing at the Africa Science Buskers Festival. So last year, I remember we shared a bit. So this time, because we so the Science Buskers platform, or the Africa Science Buskers Festival, so is a platform for young people to showcase their science communication and research skills. And so we have realized that actually the Science Buskers platform is a stage in accelerating ambition, because after participating in the Science Buskers, we have seen young people going on to start big things, getting accepted into top universities around the world. We've seen them proceeding to other international science fairs and doing very well there. So we can say the Africa Science Buskers Festival and other platforms like the one we are on today, the Connecting the Young World Fair, is a platform also, is a stage in accelerating ambition. So the Science Buskers platform started out of the feedback we were getting from young people across Africa, because in 2016, we started the Science Circus Africa, where we would visit schools and other public places performing science shows. And we started getting feedback from children, like the one I'm showing here, where it was in Zambia. So the border town between Zambia and the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo. So I had done a science show with my team, and we got students sending us or writing these feedbacks to us. So it's so touching to hear a child saying, I want to be like you. So it really means a lot. So they wanted to be science communicators. They wanted to communicate science the way we were doing. So we created the Africa Science Buskers Festival as a platform for that. And our thrust at the Science Buskers Festival is to have anyone interested in performing or demonstrating a science topic in exciting ways to participate. And we have seen students doing that. Okay. Right. So over the years, we have seen the growth of the Science Baskets Festival, because when we started, we had 89 entries, and out of the 89 entries, we had to select only 30 finalists. So that was in 2017. But now in the 2021 festival, we got 822 entries from 17 countries. So that this growth encourages us to keep on working. And so we are also seeing many participants are returning as long as they are still in high school. So they always come back to showcase their skills and be celebrated, because we try our best to celebrate these brilliant young people. And also we are now seeing local and international organizations and individuals coming to support us. And this generous support means a lot, is actually a marker of success on our side. We are also seeing our participants being accepted into top universities around the world. So today, I just want to share a story about two girls. So they participated in the Science Baskets Festival in 2020. And we had a professor from the University of California, Santa Cruz. So he gave a lecture, and in his lecture, he mentioned one opportunity, which is the Science Internship Program held annually at the University of California, Santa Cruz. And so these two girls, so this year they applied to that program and they got accepted. So they are the first Africans to participate in that program. So the program, the Science Internship Program, has been running for 13 years. And in its 13-year history, we got the first Africans participating. So I just want to play a video of their experience in that Science Internship Program. And after, so it's a 10-week program. Then after their participation, we also started a new program called Shadow the Scientist. So in this program, we are partnering with universities around the world, where we have high schools and primary school students spending 2 hours shadowing some scientists. So I'm going to share a video of the 2 sessions we have had so far. So I hope you are going to be. Oh, I think I will have to restart my screen share, because I remember when I started, I did not include the video and audio option. So apologies for that. So I will have to restart. All right, so here we go. So I will now start playing the video.
Hello everyone, my name is Barashimoy.
My name is Noctenda Saurombim. We are both Form 3 students at Queen Elizabeth High School in Harare, Zimbabwe. We are the co-founders of Junior Space Explorers, a company that aims to improve lives, inspire, and fulfill curiosity in young people through space exploration and astronomy.
So today we are going to be sharing with you our experience during the SEEP program. This has been a life-changing experience for both of us as we learned a lot of skills like research and science communication skills. These are crucial skills when it comes to STEM, because when you can't communicate your ideas to other people, it seems as if you've done nothing. So we are so grateful for learning these crucial skills, these crucial science communication skills, and also getting the opportunity to work with other interns from all over the world who share the same passion as ours.
It was a lifetime opportunity. We got a chance to learn the basics of Python computer programming via a series of repeater notebooks. We also got an opportunity to learn basics of astrophysics concepts that include the spectrum, stellar evolution, galaxies, Dick's dynamics.
This summer, we're working on a research project called We Are Stardust, an interconnection of art, STEM, and culture, where we were making 3 stories in connection to the stars: my story, culture story, and the science story. We learned how culture and STEM can be woven together for the benefit of all. I also grasped the relationship among research tasks and projects, not abstractly, but through practical experience and working with other interns and mentors, and engaging in data collection, analysis, and documenting these facts.
All elements formed are blasted into space as stardust. This stardust is what we are made from. We are stardust. Every atom of our DNA is stardust. My question is, how do you use light to study the properties of stars?
When we go to a telescope, we are taking the light of stars and we point the telescope towards the stars that we are interested in.
Our culture is directly connected to the stars.
Stars tell us how advanced the night is. You can tell without a watch. You can tell you see a star that we call the morning star.
Most of those tiny, shiny stars that we see at night in the sky have lived for billions of years. We are way smaller than the stars. Upon knowing this, I felt very small, yet honored, as I was connected to the stars, since we are made from stardust. Stars are the raw materials of life. Whenever I look up in the sky, I don't only see shiny, tiny dots, but I see life.
So receiving welcome gift from the Science Internship Program team was something that made my internship memorable, as I always get to wear my t-shirt. Thank you for the gifts. I really appreciate a lot.
Also, during the Science Internship Program, I got a chance to interact with other interns from all around the world. This helped me to polish up my knowledge skills, communication skills. We also got a chance to speak at the Science Baskers Festival. It was a great opportunity. We talked about our DIY radio telescope, our company Junior Space Explorers, and all the experience we were having at the Science Internship Program. Sometimes our internet here in Zimbabwe was not stable. We couldn't attend some of the SIP Zoom lessons because of the internet here in Zimbabwe. At least we finished up our science internship program. Despite all the challenges that we faced, we overcame them.
So during this time, we also got a chance to work on a radio telescope for our company, Space Explorers. So we were mentored by Professor Raja and Professor Nia. So a radio telescope, it is an astronomical instrument consisting of a radio receiver and an antenna system that is used to detect radio frequency radiation between wavelength of 10 meters and 1 millimeter emitted by stars, galaxies, and quasars. So we are aiming to measure hydrogen gas in the arms of the Milky Way, and also to see that if the spiral arms are moving towards us or away from us. So this is the waveguide that we have made for now. We are also excited to build this radio telescope as we are going to measure hydrogen gas, which is the most abundant gas in the universe, one of the oldest atoms, and the one of the two atoms that is used to make up water that we need every day. So we are so excited about this project. So some of the biggest takeaways we go from CYWFAIR are never giving up, because sometimes things might be hard and might not go the way you want, but you should always keep on focused on your dreams. You achieve what you want to achieve. And also time management. During the summer, we're also going to school. We had to manage our time so that our schoolwork and the internship project would not suffer. So we learn time management and also hard work. If you're hardworking, everything will go well. And also teamwork. We learned how to work together with other interns as we're engaging in the same field and working on the same research project. We are so proud of ourselves to be the first African interns to make it into this program. I think this will inspire most people in our community that you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. It only takes passion. It only takes your passion and being focused about your dreams.
Many thanks to our mentor, Annette Lee, Professor Raja, and all the organizing SRP team. We really appreciate for your support and wonderful work. You taught us valuable lessons that also helped us to set goals and direction in the field of astronomy.
We are so grateful for this opportunity and being able to be interns and representing Africa. Also, we are going to encourage other young people in our community to apply for this program, because it is a great program and it has really changed our lives. Thank you so much.
Transformed them, because right now they are busy building a radio telescope, and in partnership with our organization, their organization also started the shadow. Also, we started the shadow scientist program, and it's going on very well. So we have had 2 sessions so far. So we had a session in September, our first session. So we had 3 schools in Zimbabwe connecting with a team of astrophysicists and astronomers in Hawaii. And then we had another session in October. So we had 3 schools. So 1 from Zambia and 2 from Zimbabwe. So this time connecting with a team of astronomers in California. So I just want to play a video of showing how these students get to interact with professional scientists. And so this program also, because these were astronomers and astrophysicists. So the students had the chance or the opportunity to see how they collect data from distant stars, how they collect spectra from distant stars, and the information they get from that. So I'm going to play another video of the first session we had in September.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I noticed that is there anything in particular that you will be searching for?
That's an excellent question. Thank you.
Exposure complete.
So we are looking for at least 3 things when we take the spectrum of an object. First of all, when we take a spectrum, you'll see that its spectrum will appear here in a few seconds. Before we take a spectrum, we don't know what it is. We think it is maybe a star in triangulum, but sometimes we could be wrong. It's like saying, I walk into a grocery store, but unless I open the packaging, unless I taste the food, I don't know whether it's the right kind of food for me. So just the same way, unless we take the star and before we take its spectrum, we don't even know if it's a star. Sometimes what we think is a star may be a galaxy or a quasar in the background.
Readout complete.
You'll see this appear in just a second. There we go. Sometimes we see that what we thought was a point of light is really a collection of stars in the background, a galaxy or a quasar. Sometimes we see that it's a foreground star in our own Milky Way, not in triangulum. So that's the first thing we're trying to understand from the spectrum, is what is it? Is it a star in triangulum or is it something else? Once we know the answer to that, from the spectrum we can determine the answer. Then we are interested in 2 more questions. How fast is the star moving? And we can actually answer that question even if it's not a triangulum star, even if it's a star in the Milky Way, we can answer the question of how much Doppler shift does it have from the spectrum. And even if it's a background galaxy, we can answer the question, how much Doppler shift does it have? And that tells us how fast the thing is moving. The third thing we can answer is what kind of chemical composition and what properties it has on the surface. What is the temperature of the star? What is its chemical composition? And those are the 3 things. Whether it's a star in Andromeda, whether it's a star in triangulum is the first question, yes or no. 2, what is the velocity? 3, what are the properties of the star in terms of temperature and gravity or pressure and chemical composition? Those are the 3 things we are trying to, 3 broad questions we're trying to answer. That was a very good question.
Okay, so I stopped the video. So I just wanted to show you the interaction the students have when they participate in the Shadow the Scientist program. So we are seeing this program transforming dreams. It's the first of its kind for Zimbabwean students, and we hope the program will grow and include more schools and countries. So these are some of the things we are seeing as products or markers of success of the Africa Science Baskers Festival. But we have a very long way to go in supporting
Good afternoon.
and empowering young people in science and technology. So that's all I wanted to share with you today, how the Science Baskers platform is a stage in accelerating ambition, inspiring young people to go on and do big things, and connecting young people with opportunities. And I will be happy to take questions, but before that, I just want to congratulate once again the organizers of this Connecting the Young World Fair. Congratulations, team, and keep up the good work. Hopefully in the future, this event will be a physical or an in-person event. So we'll be able to travel maybe to India or Portugal or Brazil to have this, to connect with amazing young people. So well done.
Thank you, sir, for the amazing lecture. It was, as always, very inspirational, and as always, I'm very excited to hear your story and how it all began and stuff. Now we're open to the questions. So I just wanted to ask you all to not just turn on the mic, otherwise it gets a bit confusing. But if you want, you can write in the chat or raise your hand and then I'll ask you to speak up. So yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to say so. Okay, we got a question here. Which scientist inspired you the most?
Oh, okay. So yeah, so growing up, I didn't have scientists to look up to. So I remember my first access to the internet was when I was in, so we have what you call Form 5, which is like grade 11. So I had my first access to the internet in grade 11. And that's when I came across so what really inspired me to do more in science, I think it's the Intel ICF. It was called the Intel ICF back then. So when I started, I had access to the internet. I came across, started researching, and I came across the Intel ICF, and then connecting with other young scientists who were participating in Intel ICF really inspired me. And so back then we didn't have a science fair in Zimbabwe. And it always pained me to see them participating in these competitions, but we didn't have any. Yeah, so my first inspiration, I can say, the Intel ICF. But getting into the sciences, I was a bright student in high school. So when you are here, it's structured in such a way that if you're good in math and science, you just go into that route. So it came in automatically.
That's awesome to hear. We have other questions. Maria, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, sure. Firstly, thank you so much and congrats more on time. It's always a pleasure to see you and to see your story. So I'd like to know about you. How is the hardest challenge you face in mobilizing many people in Africa and creating partnerships with the universities? And I mean, because, you know, in the start, it's so hard to mobilize and to show the importance of science. And some people don't believe that it can have a long path. So I'd like to know about you, what it was and is the hardest challenge you are facing right now, and your advice to us in connecting the Young World Fair.
Yeah, the biggest challenge is for people to believe in what you're trying to do, because you know exactly what you want to do, you have the vision, but to have people believe in that vision is a big challenge. And because we need support. I remember when we started the Zimbabwe Science Fair back in 2013. So we were university students. I was in my first year, and we were a team of 20 undergraduate students. So we started as a team of 20 undergraduate students, and we had our expectations. We thought, oh, we have started this big thing, so we are going to get some sponsors coming in to give us resources. The university is going to give us transport to visit the schools and other things. But things did not work that way. So at first, so we started it was in September 2013. So the whole of 2013, we were 20, but by June 2014, the other members of the team had dropped, saying, oh, we can't keep on using our resources, our personal funds to run this thing. And so they said, well, we'll come back when things get better. And so by June 2014, we were now 4. And by December 2014, so the other 3 members also dropped. and I had to keep on pushing the project. So yeah, getting people to believe, to see what you're seeing is the biggest challenge, because once they see what you're seeing, they'll support you, because it's a good cause.
Yeah, I think this answer was really personal, especially for our staff team, because we really relate to this thing of trying to make our ideas and projects heard. So it hit in the heart. But it's awesome. And also I wanted to congratulate you for having more than 800 participants and subscriptions in your fair. I mean, it's a huge number. So congrats for that. But now we have Jose Eduardo in the line for the questions.
There are always going to be people saying that, oh, you're not going to be, you cannot do this. There are always going to be people that want you to not do what you want to do. So how did you overcome those comments that can help you overcome?
It could be my internet. I could not hear your question. I don't know what's happening. I couldn't hear you well.
Maybe we can have Montserrat's questions while Jose is writing his question.
Okay, so Jose, try to write your question. I know your internet is kind of failing, so don't worry about it. Meanwhile, I would like, first of all, to thank you. I am really excited to see you here. It's really an honor to have you here. And I always tell you this, but since I met you in China, you became one of my greatest inspirations. Really, really. And I would like to ask you, like, I think it's going to be a really interesting story, because when you told me this, it actually like changed my vision of everything, like how you did and managed to have a science fair via WhatsApp, and considering the internet situation in Africa due to the pandemic. I would like you to tell us that story, because I think it's a really inspirational thing, because if our objective as a science fair is to democratize it, we're having still a really complicated problem, that is most of the students in developing countries do not have a great internet connection and even access to a computer. So could you tell us your story, please?
Yeah, sure. Good to see you, Montserrat, and well done for all this work you are doing with the team. Yeah, so when so last year it was because we needed to have the science fair. We have so many children looking up to the science fair as an annual event, and then we had COVID. And so here in Zimbabwe, if you are to have it virtual, that will mean you might exclude most of the participants. So, but I'm grateful to our team of volunteers. So we had a team of dedicated volunteers. They said, well, we'll organize some WhatsApp groups. And so they opened up WhatsApp groups. I remember it. So we had over 50 WhatsApp groups. So, and in those WhatsApp groups, they filled students. On average, a group would have about 200 members. So that was a big number of students managing to participate in our events via WhatsApp. And so what the volunteers would do, so they're working in teams in a group. So they would then join the live sessions, and so would be posting all the updates. And we also got some speakers of our events willing to do their talks on WhatsApp. So they had to adjust their talks into text-based. So they had to type everything in the WhatsApp groups, and the interactions were amazing. So I think the credit goes to our team of volunteers. They did a wonderful job. They did the same this year. So we really appreciate the volunteers.
This is indeed a very beautiful story. But we have Jose's question. I'm going to read it. There are always going to be people saying, oh, you're not going to be able to do this, or you can do this, and etc. So his first question is if that happened to you, and if so, how did you overcome this situation?
Yeah, it's always like that when you start something new. I think you should expect that. The short answer maybe is like we were saying, you have your vision, you have seen something and you want to achieve it. So other people don't see it the way you see it. So you never give up, just ignore the noise and keep on pushing. So yeah, it was the same in our case. It was hard. We were young those days, starting a science fair. I remember at one time, the Minister of Education in the country, they could not believe us. So they stopped us from doing the activities. That was so towards end of 2014. They thought we were young and we didn't have resources. So they said, well, you don't have the resources, the funding, and you are young people. We would want to work with big organizations. And so I remember the one director in the Ministry of Education doing a letter to stop us all of the activities. But what saved us at that time was the impact we were having, because I then went back to the Ministry of Education and I showed them the work we were doing with schools in the rural areas, in the urban areas, the work we were doing. And because of that work, they said, well, this is actually a good thing. So let's just support these young people. Yeah, so when things get tough and people are not believing or are not seeing what you are seeing, just do your best, keep on doing the work and make sure you have the results and it's working. Yeah, so that's the only way I think you can be able to keep on going.
Okay. Can you hear me well first?
Yes, I can hear you now. Well.
So it was not my internet; they were my headphones. But well, yeah, it's a matter of ignoring them and just keep going on. No, I think it's one of those things that sounds easy, but it's very hard to do, I think.
It's very hard to do, but I think if you really know what you want to achieve, so that should be the energy to keep you going. My story. I remember at one point, that was now in 2015. So we were starting a science fair for the infants, and so at that time I didn't have any money, but had invited the Minister of Education to come to that event. So I had to make sure the schools are participating. We had as many kids as we could have. And I would walk for over 20 kilometers a day, just organizing the schools. And so what kept me doing all that was I knew what I wanted to see. So once you know what you want to achieve, I think that should give you the energy to the fuel. That will be your fuel to keep going.
Yeah, man, it's an inspirational story, and I'm truly impacted now. I'm like, whoa, you're very inspirational person, and well, thank you. Thank you for
thank you so much.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Montserrat, you raise your hand.
Maybe João can go first.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I would like to congratulate you for the project. It was beautiful to hear it. But my question is, I would like to please you to talk a little bit more about the first steps of the project. Like, how did you conceive it and how did you work to put it in practice? Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So we started with the science fair. So when I started using the internet in also when I was in grade 11, so we didn't have a science fair, and I would see students in South Africa. In South Africa, they had a science fair. In the US, they had a science fair. So I used to follow these science fairs, and I would go on Facebook, say and look for the winners. I send friend requests, and they would accept my friend requests and start chatting. And I wished we had a science fair in the country. And so I made it a goal that one day I was going to start a science fair in Zimbabwe. And so when I then went to the university, I made a proposal to our chairperson, because I was in the chemistry department. I made a proposal saying, well, the university is not doing much to promote science in primary and high schools. What if we can start a program? So the initial step was to design a program where university students would inspire and help mentor school children in science projects and some hands-on activities. So that's how we started. So when we made that proposal, the chairperson of the chemistry department in the University of Zimbabwe was so impressed, and he said, well, the university is going to support you. And those days also, I came across a team of undergraduate students from the US. So they were running a program called Start Science. So I sent them an email. I said, well, we want to do exactly the work you are doing. Can we get some resources from you, some lesson plans and things? So they were excited to partner with us. So that's how we started. So we started with we would visit schools every Wednesday and Friday. We would visit schools. And so those days we were a team of 20 students. It was so exciting. 20 students getting into a school, help run some hands-on activities in that school. So that's how we started. And in one high school, one of the high schools we started with, so their pass rate in the national exams in science, it was called integrated science, which is a combination of chemistry, physics, and biology. So their pass rate in 2013 was 56%. But in 2014, the pass rate rose to 83%. So from 56 to 83. And they could all point to the work we were doing with the students. And so they said, whoa, so the work you are doing with these kids, you are inspiring them, and we can see the impact. So after that, we then said, well, you see, this work is having impact. So let's now create the science fair where they can showcase their research and innovation projects. Yeah, so we just started with that.
Thank you for the answer, and again, congratulations for the project.
Thank you.
Montserrat, your turn.
Yes, thank you. Dr. Knowledge, I would like to ask you a question, since I think it's a really important thing for students. I will give like everyone like a small contextualization. I don't know if that word exists in English, but anyways, I think it's really important for students in developing countries to realize there is a huge world and a huge amount of opportunities out there. I have seen, or at least that was my situation when I was in high school and I was applying to university, I never realized and I never saw as a possibility to study abroad. After I entered the university, I realized it was indeed a possibility for me to find a scholarship. But in our fair right now, we have a lot of high school students. So I would like you to tell us, what would you recommend to all of them to start looking to study abroad and looking for scholarships and all that complicated process? Because I think sometimes we see it as something impossible, but it is not.
Yeah, so that's a very important question, because so I think universities, especially those top research universities, are looking for talent. And so students who do science projects, I think, so it's a demonstration of so many skills. If a student comes up with a project and they are able to do that project, it says a lot about that student. I always tell my students that if you are doing a project, you are a CEO, because you are running your project like a company. You have to plan, you have to reach out to some researchers, you have to reach out to potential mentors. So that project is a company and you are a CEO of that company. And being a CEO says a lot about you. So it's a demonstration of many skills. So from my experience mentoring some students, I think so universities are looking for those students with so many skills, students who can solve problems. So my advice to the high school students is I think they'll need to be pragmatic. They need to plan their things well. And as they start doing their projects, they should know that it's a big step in acquiring the achievements. They will get them into universities. And then they will need to do a lot of research. So researching the universities, learning a lot about those universities, their dream universities, because I think students, the mistake they make is to apply to a university without really researching about that university. So I have a student who, so she was accepted by MIT. So she started at MIT in August. And I said, wow, getting to MIT is very hard. So what made MIT accept you? And she said, I had done my research. I knew when I went for the interview, I knew what MIT stands for. I knew their mission, and I made sure whatever I said was aligning with MIT's mission. So that's something they will need to do. So they need to do this early on, not to do it last minute, especially if they are to apply maybe to the US. There's a lot to do, like on Common App. So they will need to do that in time. And it's very important to research the universities. But if they can do science projects, a science project is a big achievement for students. Yeah.
Now I have a question myself. You said two things that really impacted me. The first one, when you were talking about making yourself heard and your ideas, that you know exactly what you want, but then you need the hard part is to make others believe in you. So I wanted to ask you, considering that you are the CEO of your dreams and then of your project, what are the next steps that you imagine for your project and for this whole changes you've done so far?
So you mean a student doing a project, or do you mean my projects?
No, yeah, like what do you imagine from now on? Like what do you want to implement in the fairs? Your goals? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we need to do more, because what I would want to see here in Africa, because we have so many brilliant young people. Let's take, for example, your friend and colleague, McDonald. So McDonald took his project, his science fair project, and made a company out of that. So that's something we would want to see thousands of children, thousands of young people in Africa doing. So right now, we are busy putting up a program that will be creating an ecosystem for that. So we just need to put in place a support system for students with science projects to get the support to take these projects into companies, or these projects are further. Apart from that, we also, because we have some students who are so much talented, but they don't have the exposure and access to timely knowledge. So that the thing we are setting up will be able to do that, and equipping young people with the skill sets, the timely knowledge, opportunities. And so that's the next stage of my life. Actually, I'll put it in the chat so that if you want, you can check it out, because the landing page is up. We just had it up a couple weeks ago, but very soon you'll see a lot there, because we are also putting up a very an exciting program where we have our young people here shadowing some top professionals the world over, so that they can see what's out there in the world and the opportunities. So you can check. It's called the Hammer Corp. So a Hammer Corp is you know about the Hammer Corp when you visit this website. Yeah, thank you for that question.
Thank you. Guys, if you have any other questions, this is the moment, because we're already running out of time. So yeah, this is the last moment. Enjoy it. In case you don't have anything else to add, I'd like to thank very, very much, Knowledge. It's again a huge pleasure to have you here with us. I'm sure that everyone was really inspired from what you said. I hope to see you next edition as well, because hearing from you is never too much. So yeah, thank you very much. And that's it, guys. See you tomorrow. And yeah.
Thank you so much. Best wishes. Yeah.
Hey, should we take the screenshot?
Yes. Yeah. The screenshot. No one leaves. Guys, stay. And please, if you can, turn on your cameras so then we can have a screenshot. Who's gonna take it? Just so I know.
My internet is failing so much, so please take it like by yourself, because my internet, I cannot see you all. I'm sorry.
Can you take it? Yeah, so do the counting so that everyone can smile.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Beautiful
you.
Bye.
Bye. Have a great day.